All right, how's it going, everybody? Bobby O'Brien here. Today I'm going to walk you through exactly how I maintain a body fat percentage of 5% year round. As you can see right there, there's my total body fat percentage. This was taken in May and April of last year, but I'm going to show you some pictures here in a second. I'll just give you a little sneak peek. That's what I look like right now, 2023, and I did not look like that in 2022. So if you like videos like this, feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe. I love making these videos. I love giving you guys a bunch of free value on how you can actually lose weight consistently, even with a busy schedule. And this is what this video is going to be about. I'm going to walk you through exactly how you can lose weight consistently. Of course, not only that, but how you can actually get a body fat percentage like this. Certainly under 10% for sure, if you apply everything that I'm going to give you in this video. So definitely stick around and watch the full video so you know exactly what you need to do today to actually achieve this. So just to kind of pre-frame it though, 5% is a pretty crazy number. I'm not saying that to be conceited, but most people are not going to get down to that level. I definitely have some good genes. My metabolic rate is good, and I've been doing this for a long time. I don't cheat. I hardly drink alcohol ever. Very rarely will I drink alcohol. I adhere to my diet pretty much 100% of the time. I find ways to do it, even at restaurants, and we'll cover how I do that as well, so you guys can also find different ways to eat healthy at restaurants too. But yeah, man, I dial everything in, and I worked really hard for this, but this is definitely somewhat unrealistic, right? 10%, under 10% is really, really good. Even under 20% is great, especially if you're in your 40s or in your 50s or even older, for sure. So just to kind of go through these pictures here. Yeah, that's what I look like right now, 2023. Some really good shots by Trinity. She has a photography page. I'll leave her link in the description. She took these pictures. Really great shots. But yeah, you can see that my body fat percentage is certainly low, obviously, right? So how do I do this? Well, my plate of food looks like that pretty much every single day. Especially the main course, really good quality red meat. I eat a lot of red meat. I eat a lot of other meats as well. Seafood, mackerel, sardines, salmon, chicken, oysters here and there if I want to get some additional zinc, and of course the additional omega-3 fatty acids that come with the fish as well. And of course some other exceptions too. But if we're going to go over exactly, what I eat on a day-to-day basis, it's usually that. Now, I'm not a full-on carnivore. I did experiment with that diet not too long ago, saw some good results, but it just wasn't necessarily sustainable in terms of, not being able to go to sleep at night at certain times just because your blood sugar and your insulin is very, very low. You can deal with electrolyte issues with completely eliminating carbs, and there's issues that come with it, but it's a good short-term solution if you're hyperinsulinemic and your insulin is, elevated for a long period of time, all the time. Now I digress, but that's what the main course usually looks like. And I do include some carbohydrate sources such as simple and complex carbohydrates, fruits and vegetables, right? Carbohydrate sources that are going to give me a good initial postprandial insulin response, but it will go back down just as fast as it came up. And that's what I'm optimizing for, a good insulin response. This meat here that you see, the only insulin response I'm really getting is from the protein content. Fat does not formulate an insulin response at all whatsoever. I'm going to use my mouse here. So of course, you can see that fat right there. What you eat there is literally not going to do anything to your insulin levels. Once again, just to reiterate, in case you guys have not heard this before, some of you may have, so I'm going to say it again. I sound like a broken record, but this is so true. Insulin is the ultimate predictor of how much body fat you're going to lose or gain. It is an anabolic hormone that is responsible for growth. So it is also responsible for the growth of your fat cells. And if your insulin levels are elevated for a long period of time, you will put yourself in a position where you're going to most likely gain some weight. But if insulin is not stimulated at all whatsoever, which is exactly what happens whenever we consume dietary fat from red meat, which is very bioavailable and has a lot of nutrients, by the way, you will not see an insulin response at all. But from the protein content, you will, but it's going to be a very holistic, healthy insulin response. You'll get an initial insulin release, just because that hormone, once again, is responsible for growth of not just your fat cells, but also your muscles as well. And of course, it's going to store those nutrients, those essential amino acids into the muscle, from the protein content, right? And if you're eating animal protein, you're going to be getting all 9 essential amino acids. And why do you want all 9 essential amino acids? So that you can induce muscle protein synthesis and be able to, 1, boost your metabolic rate, and 2, induce what's called insulin sensitivity. And that's exactly what we want if we want to see insulin function correctly. We want to see insulin become somewhat sensitive to the fuel that comes into our body so we can utilize it in a better fashion. So those are a plethora of benefits I just gave you from, just eating, higher fat, higher protein foods such as red meat. Now, I'm sure that many of you are really afraid to eat red meat. Maybe some of you are not, but most people are. And there's been a whole lot of demonization in the past, 5 decades or so when it comes to red meat consumption. Of course, people saying that it could increase your cardiovascular risk. It can lead to even type 2 diabetes, which is so stupid. There's just literally no randomized control trial at all to actually show that that is valid and true. And if there is a randomized control trial on that, it is heavily nuanced. And we can certainly, go over, some randomized control trials in the future regarding red meat. We'll make a video about that soon, but there's no need to worry about that. How can you demonize saturated fat when you have a plethora of fat-soluble vitamins that are going to give you some amazing benefits that can help you lose weight, such as vitamin A, D, E, and K2, otherwise known as choline. And everyone loves vitamin D, right? It's really, really great for your health. It's great for your skin. There's a plethora of different benefits that come with vitamin D. It's responsible for the regulation of many different hormones and many other physiological processes in the body, but people seem to want to demonize, one of the best sources of fat-soluble vitamin D, which is fatty cuts of red meat. And you get bigger cuts of fat inside of red meat, such as the meat that you see on the screen. So that's how I maintain a body fat percentage of 5% from a dietary perspective. That's what my meals look like. Now, with my exercise regimen, I do a whole lot of this, a lot of pressing, pulling, and of course, pushing with my legs. My current workout split is a bro split, and I'm sure many of you think, oh my gosh, he's just a typical gym bro. I am not. I really go deep in terms of isolation. I know there's, a lot of advocates at the moment for a full body routine. That certainly can be beneficial as long as you're targeting each and every muscle group inside each week. It's good for recovery, but if you actually want to stimulate the biggest metabolic reaction possible and, get your muscles looking like that, I would recommend doing more of an individualized split, which is really what a bro split is. I hate that term, but it's, just biceps and triceps one day, back the other, legs another day, and then chest and shoulders. So that way I can target each and every layer of that muscle group by giving a whole independent day for it. And when you do that, you induce a much stronger metabolic reaction than you would by just kind of spreading it out. Are you still getting a metabolic reaction with a full body split? You are. Of course, you still want to be cautious with the number of reps that the number of sets that you're performing in your lifts whenever you are doing weight training in an individualized format like that. But as long as you are following protocol, making sure that you're not doing more than 8 to 10 sets per muscle group, which is recommended, right? Don't do 20 to 30 sets for your shoulders like some of those idiot influencers do. There's no need for that. You will see some really good results. Now, typically, this is what a typical day looks like for me, right? I'll give you one example. For chest and shoulders, that's what I was doing that day. I did 6 workouts in total for the chest and the shoulders. I targeted my upper chest, my middle chest, and my lower chest by pressing at different angles. So I can basically target those different muscular fibers of the chest, right? Up, forward, and then down, right? And for the shoulder, I targeted the front delt, which I'm targeting right here with this front press, lateral delt, and then rear delt. And per muscle group, that's about 12 sets. I'm pushing it a little bit because I'm doing 4 sets of 10, maybe a little bit of progressive overload for the first exercise. If I'm doing like incline barbell bench press, I might do 5 sets, right? Where I do 10, then 8, then 6, and 5 and 10. I'll do a little bit more volume sometimes, but if you were to do just 3 sets, or even 2, if you want to go with more of a beginner level, that's still 6 sets per muscle group, which is solid. That's good. And you're going to get a good metabolic reaction that way. And if you need to start off with that, that's just fine. So I must say, I don't do a second of cardio. I don't do any cardio at all whatsoever to see results like these. Someone may think, yeah, of course, I look like I'm lifting weights here. I'm doing it there. Yeah. And are you getting a metabolic reaction whenever you're doing, cardio on the treadmill, on the elliptical, or whatever? Yes, you are. But is it as prominent in comparison to the weight training that you would be doing that's going to break down those muscular fibers and induce that muscle protein synthesis? No, probably not. So that is why I prioritize that form of training so I can optimize my body composition in the best way possible. And that's exactly what every single one of my clients do. Chris, who lost 36 pounds in a little over 3 months, did not do a second of cardio. Another one of my clients, who doesn't like being named, lost 7 pounds in their first week, like literally doing no cardio at all whatsoever. Another client of mine, Joel, lost about 40 pounds in 4 to 5 months, worked with him one-on-one, did nothing but weight training every single time we worked together. Didn't go on a treadmill, didn't touch an elliptical machine at all. So those are real-time examples. If you would like to see those testimonials from me, I'm more than happy to send them over to you. Show you the weight loss line graphs and actually show you exactly how we can get you to see results too. So if you want me to do that, or if you want that, feel free to message me the word optimize on my Instagram at It's Bobby O'Brien. I'll leave a link in the description below so that you can go ahead and check that out, and we can go ahead and basically start messaging, and I can make you a fully customized plan that is tailored just for you so you can see results just like this. So now, the final pillar, right? And this is kind of cut off here, but you can see that she's sleeping. Whatever, right? We're going to talk about sleep. So sleep is the most important pillar of your health to optimize if you want to lose weight consistently. What you do here with your diet or your exercise routine literally does not matter at all if your sleep sucks. If you're sleeping 3 hours a night, it does not matter how hard you train, how hard you diet, you won't see results. I can't tell you how many times somebody has come in for a consultation with me on the phone, and we're basically scoping out their plan, and they tell me that they just cannot see results, but they feel like they're doing every single little thing right. We go over their dieting regimen, I go over their exercise regimen, everything looks great. Then I ask them about their sleep, and it's horrible. So how do you fix that? Well, there's a lot of different things that you can do, and I'm going to go over those different things with you, all while not giving you too much information so you can absorb it. So one of the biggest things that you want to make sure you do if you want to actually optimize the quality of your sleep, and we're going to get into why sleep is important here in a second, is to ensure that you're not exposed to any light at all, if possible, 2 to 3 hours before going to sleep, so that you can regulate and boost the hormone melatonin, right? So that you can get your circadian rhythm functioning in an optimal manner to where you're slowly starting to wind down and go to sleep. Now, another really important tip that nobody talks about is timing of your meals. A lot of people will eat at 10 p.m. and people have no idea what that's doing to them. If you just got off of work, you had a long day at the office, and you get home, hey, I get it. But it would be best to either, one, eat something really small, or two, make the optimal decision to wait until tomorrow morning to start eating and then have a really big breakfast so that you can get satiated in the earlier part of the day and not have to worry about getting hungry or not as hungry in the evening. Because the problem with eating so late, if you eat, let's say with the example of 10 p.m., your gut realistically is not going to sleep until 2 a.m. There's been some research highlighted by Dr. Sachin Panda, who has spent a lot of time taking a deep dive into the circadian rhythm of the human body, as well as in animal models. And they have now discovered the fact that your gut does not kickstart its own circadian rhythm until 5 hours after your last bite of food. And yes, your gut has its own form of circadian rhythm, as well as many other different organs in your body. Your kidney, your liver, even your heart. It goes down to the molecular level in terms of your circadian rhythm. And your gut has one. So if you really think about it, if your gut's realistically not getting its own rest until 2 a.m. and you have to wake up at 6 in the morning and get ready for work, dude, your gut's getting 4 hours of sleep. That sucks. That's terrible and it's unacceptable. You cannot have that. Cannot have that happen if you're trying to actually lose weight consistently, because now you've narrowed the window down to 4 hours. And it's a really simple fix. You just eat a little bit earlier. If you eat at 7 p.m., now your gut doesn't go to sleep until 12 a.m., but that's still pretty late. That's still pretty late. If you're an early bird, you should take advantage of that schedule already and see if you can allocate the majority of your eating to the earlier part of the day so that you can increase what's called your time-restricted eating window and be able to lose body fat in your sleep. That's exactly what I do with all my clients. And man, I am giving you guys the gems today. But yes, that's exactly what you need to do. I want y'all to see results. So I don't want you to make that mistake. I made that mistake for a really long time. I struggled with insomnia and really tough sleep as well. I would always eat really, really late, and I didn't know the detriment of it until I started looking into Dr. Sachin Panda's research. And I'll go ahead and reference some of his research down in the description below if you'd like to check that out. Leave an article or two. But yeah, it's good stuff. It's real good stuff. And you have to be sure that you find the right time that works for your schedule where you're actually having somewhat of a time-restricted eating window, because 7 p.m. is way better than 10 p.m., especially if you are waking up at 6 in the morning. So your gut actually has time to bioactively digest whatever just came into the body and then actually be able to rest and start using your own body fat as fuel while you're sleeping. Imagine if you just wake up every single morning, you just lose more weight. That's exactly what all my clients do. So if you want to be one of those clients, feel free to click the link below down in the description, and we'll go ahead and book you in for a call. And we'll go ahead and scope out exactly how we can optimize not only your dieting and exercise regimen, but your sleep as well with tips like that. I mean, those two that I just gave you, man, if you only knew what things look like inside the program, I want you to experience that. There's millions of things, plethora, copious amounts of things that I can show you that can really, really help you optimize your sleep and, of course, improve your performance at work, improve your performance in the gym, and just make life easier for you. Whenever you're fully rested, sleeping good, consistently, day in and day out, not only are you feeling good, healthy, and relaxed, but it's going to make it way easier for you to lose weight, because now you're going to be able to regulate all the hormones that are responsible for weight loss. Insulin, leptin, ghrelin, all those hormones become dysregulated when you are restricted of sleep. I've made many videos about this in the past, plenty of them on my Instagram if you want to go check them out. But yes, you certainly will dysregulate your hormones whenever you are restricting yourself of sleep, and you will also activate cortisol in your sympathetic nervous system if you are restricted of sleep as well. So if you think about all those things, sympathetic nervous system out of whack, leptin acting up, a satiety hormone that's really important for losing weight, ghrelin acting up. Ghrelin is stimulated most of the time whenever you're restricted of sleep. Cortisol is elevated, stress hormone, right? It's a huge mess. That's why those people that I talked about earlier that would get on the phone with me and everything seemed just fine except for their sleep we're not losing weight because of those reasons. So I want to make sure that you get some really good results, and not only with your dieting and exercise regimen, but with your sleep as well. So if you, once again, want something more customized and you're tired of feeling tired all the time and actually want to lose weight consistently day in and day out and actually see the number on the scale go down and maybe get a body fat percentage that gets close to this, maybe not 5%, but easily under 10%. If we were to work one-on-one together for an extended period of time, we can pull it off without a doubt. There's many people that have done it, and I'm more than happy to send the testimonials over to you. Chris is on the Instagram page. He was open to put his testimonial on there. Not everyone is. People get a little bit self-conscious about that. But we have a lot of clients where we got their weight loss graph, and I'm more than happy to share that with you. And some before and after pictures as well that they just don't want posted. So more than happy to share those with you, show you how I can get you those specific results just by getting some more information from you. So once again, you know what to do. Message me on Instagram at itsbobbyobrien, or book a call down below so we don't have to waste any time and we just get right into it so that you can see amazing results now, week in and week out. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.